past and present transport routes. Let us walk along this ancient mountain road. As we travel along the mule track, we encounter some steps, at first cobblestoned, then paved. Most of these transport routes were made between the 18th and 19th century, following the practice of roadie, when the inhabitants used to work for the community without compensation. Alongside the mule track runs a deep channel that carries water. In several points, stone slabs have been placed across it to allow suspended access to the ancient cultivated patches, where today thriving woods have returned. This route might well be a part of the Via Francigena, a medieval pilgrimage which began in the 5th and 6th centuries and stretches between England and Italy for almost 2,000 kilometers. So important that it was recognized as a cultural itinerary by the European Council in 1994. While the Roman Galway was a clear route along the valley floor, routes from the Middle Ages were built higher up, also due to climate change, which turned the valley into an unhealthy and boggy area. Unmarked routes were created, a group of transport routes between Rome and Canterbury that have been used over the centuries for many different reasons: religious devotion, territorial control, commerce, and today, tourism. Thanks to an illustrious medieval pilgrim, we know the main stops of this pilgrimage. Chronicles from the end of the 10th century note that Dunstan of Canterbury, better known as Sigeric, after receiving the Archbishop of Canterbury pastoral pallium from the Pope, travelled through 80 towns during his return on foot from Rome. The 45th stop was indeed Every, or modern-day Ivrea. However, if we look around us, deep in the woods, there are clues of an even older history. The paved way winds around the rock face, which seem to have been smoothed. It shows the sign of glacial polish from the Baltia Glacier, which between 1 million and 10 million years ago slid all the way from Mont Blanc to the Po Valley. The glacier used all of its ploughing force on these rock walls, working as a giant rasp on the compact rock. Fragments of rounded stone trapped in the ice smoothed the ruggedness of the rock face, which today appears smooth. The parent rock base, which is persistently present underground, emerges here and there along the route. These have created a particular microhabitat with warmer temperatures and lower humidity. The ideal conditions for plants such as the downy oak, the dwarf prickly pear, and the dog rose to adapt over the centuries. The downy oak, for instance, has a well-developed root system which penetrates deeply down the slits in the rock to resist droughts, even for long periods of time. Its bark has wrinkled plaques which are very hard to defend the plant from being destroyed by fire. A true example of adaptation to extreme conditions. Other parts of parent rock along the route have been included in the terraces on the mountainside as a base for the mighty dry stone walls. As we continue along the mule track, we proceed along the Via Francigena, whilst a secondary path allows to take a brief detour to the castle at Montestruto and the Church of St. Jacob.